So this video is the fourth in a series of videos we've put together to help setting up your warehouse management system for the first time. So in the first few videos we've looked at how to set up the warehouses, set up stock categories, and then set up your stock parts. So now that the basic framework of the warehouse system has been set up, we now need to connect it to the merchant side of the system. So first of all, we need to configure the relevant suppliers so that they are associated with the warehouses, and then there's also some configuration that can be done on the individual products as well. So firstly, if we go into merchant and then products and then go to suppliers, so from here we can see the full list of suppliers in the system. So if you're going to be supplying product yourself from your own warehouses, then it would make sense to create a supplier that has your company name. Potentially if we were integrating with other third-party suppliers that made their warehouse stock available through some form of API, we may go in and configure those suppliers from this area as well. So we've set up a dummy supplier here called eMark Systems. We'll just click into it and then click on Edit. So down the page you'll see a section here labeled Stock Management with a couple of options. The product stock availability is the most relevant one. So by default all suppliers will be set up with this set to dropship only, and in this scenario the stock count that is attributed to a product in the merchant system would essentially be that stock count, and that would come through potentially from data feeds that the suppliers provide. If we want to manage the products through the warehouse system, then we want to change it to warehouse stock. So those are the only two options that we currently have available in the system. We do have an option here to allow or deny customer back orders, which does as it states, and then we can set a preferred warehouse. So although customers may purchase from other warehouses, we can have a default warehouse for this particular supplier. So the key here is to obviously change it to warehouse stock, and then we set a preferred warehouse and then click Save. So this supplier has now been configured to use the warehouse management system. If we go into the merchant product system, we've got a product here which is associated with the eMark Systems supplier, and if we click to edit and scroll down the page here, you'll see that there's also some stock management settings here. So the availability, we can by default just use whatever the supplier is configured for, or we can potentially override that. We can also override the preferred warehouse. So the supplier's stock count allows you to obviously set a stock level for the product, but this field is only applicable if we are using that dropship method. Otherwise that would be ignored, and the stock that is in the warehouse system is what would be displayed to the customer. So after making any changes there, we would just click Save.